And what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Live, Laugh, Left podcast. Live, laugh, left. Live, laugh, laugh, live. Anyway, we're back. Gary's back too with his Lions gear.
Yeah.
We got some
Listen,
stuff.
I'm tired.
Yeah, so am I. It's part of the grind. It's part of the grind, you know. We got some stuff to talk about. All-Star Weekend is in the books. Of course, the trucks also had a points race, so we'll talk about all that. That went down. The Hall of Fame class of 2026 was announced. We'll go over that. And then we got a couple other things, silly season news-wise, to talk about. And then at the end, we will preview this weekend's action at Charlotte. So, should be pretty exciting stuff. First, we got to talk about North Wilkesboro. Of course, the trucks ran a points race, but it was All-Star Weekend for Cup, so we got to go over both of those. I unfortunately did not get to watch much of the racing this weekend. I got to catch the last about 60-something laps of the All-Star race, and that was it. I was busy otherwise, unfortunately. I will be less busy this weekend. I am planning on watching the trucks. I'm planning on, I probably won't watch the trucks because I'll forget that they're on again. But I'll try and watch the Xfinity. And then Cup, I will most likely get to watch. We'll see. But for the trucks from North Wilkesboro, poor Norm Benning. Lost another motor in this race. Brandon Jones wrecked to end the second stage. Tomasi blew a tire. Cruz and Ben Rhodes got spun out late. Overall, not a super crazy truck race. Not a whole lot went on for the majority of it. There was some good side-by-side action though, which was good to see because when North Wilkesboro originally came back now a couple of years ago, it wasn't like that. It was a very one groove track, but with the repaving and some of the other resurfacing and adding in new grooves, there's definitely a lot of more side-by-side bumper-to-bumper action, which has been pretty well received, and I think it's very well received. And it set up a chaotic last lap as we got towards the end of the race. Came down between Corey Heim and Chandler Smith. And Corey Heim, trying to hold on to the lead, spun out and wrecked. The field wrecked behind him. On the final lap was a very chaotic last lap. Drivers hitting the wall, bumping into each other, spinning out everywhere. And Chandler Smith would take advantage of it all to get the win. So very, very exciting finish to a pretty good truck race, all things considered. So that was good. Good stuff there. But then all-star racing action. So the Open first. Not a lot happened. Not a lot happened in the Open. It's a pretty short race. Does not usually a lot happen. Shane Van Gisbergen looked to be in a good spot to move on to the all-star race until his pit crew had a terrible pit stop during the competition caution. So that kind of fucked him over. Riley Herbst went around, spun, and then as they were choosing the restart choose cone, Ryan Preece ran over the choose cone and got a violation for it. And then he got mad because he said he couldn't see the choose cone. Okay. The choose cone is the same at every track, at every race. Why can you not see it now? There's no way your spotter couldn't see it either. There's no way your crew chief couldn't see it. It's on you, buddy. He did a pretty funny thing though after the race. He took an actual cone and put it at where the choose cone is on the track. I thought that was pretty funny. But come on, man. It's on you. It's on you. It's only on you. So that took Priest out of competition. Other than that, wasn't much competition for the win. Carson Hocevar pretty much dominated, especially after Shane Van Gisbergen had to pit problems. So Carson Hocevar got the win. John Hunter Nemechek also advanced by virtue of finishing second. And then the fan vote went to Noah Gragson, who finished almost dead last. Internet. Gotta love it.
I thought Ross Chastain got it. Or am I thinking of the manufacturer?
You're probably thinking of the Manufacturers Championship.
Okay.
Or whatever it was. Challenge or whatever the fuck. So they all got
the Manufacturer Championship isn't until Michigan.
I don't know. Probably. I don't know how that works. So Carson Hocevar, though, getting the win. I count the Open for the New Year's Eve Spectacular, so he is in. Ladies and gentlemen, I probably should update that. Does he deserve to be in? Probably not. But hey, that's the format. Does Joey Logano deserve to be a 3-time champion? Absolutely not.
No.
So
no.
You know, it wins sometimes and loses sometimes as well. But Carson Hocevar is locked in now to the New Year's Eve Spectacular. He's the 16th driver to be locked in. And he now has he had a chance to go and win the All-Star race. Spoiler alert, he didn't. None of the drivers that got in from the Open really did anything in the All-Star race. Was a pretty fairly clean All-Star race, all things considered, for a short track. Daniel Suarez wrecked early, took himself out of contention. Austin Cindric and Ross Chastain got together, went for slide. Brad Keselowski wrecked again from the lead for like the 8th time this season. So more pain on top of pain for the Keselowski fans out there. And then came the promoter's caution. Oh my goodness, the promoter's caution. It's going to be so good. They had the camera fixated on the starter stand for a good 15 minutes waiting for them to throw the damn promoter's caution. You got Michael Waltrip standing up there on the stand looking at the fans and like taunting them with the flag and like taunting the cameras of Fox with the flag. It was so funny. And then guess what? They throw the caution and Michael Waltrip drops the flag on the track.
So first it goes, drops a taco onto Denny Hamlin's car, and now the flag.
Drops the flag. Michael, what are you doing, man? Come on. But after that, it would come down between the race itself would come down between Joey Logano and Christopher Bell. Logano dominated much of the evening, but some pit strategy that came with that promoter's caution helped shake the favor into Christopher Bell's way. And Bell used the tires to outduel Logano for the win. Christopher Bell, all-star winner, already was locked into the New Year's Eve Spectacular. You count the All-Star, it's his 4th win of the season. So that's pretty crazy already. So he was pretty happy, obviously. But Joey Logano was not happy. And he gave one of the most hypocritical, funny interviews that I have ever seen in a race. He goes on to say that he is not happy with the gimmicks. Brother, you are a 3-time champion solely because of gimmicks. You cannot say that that you do not like the gimmicks of this when you don't like the gimmicks of that. Get real here.
I tell ya. That's why I said Start of the season, he ain't my champion. Joey Logano's a crybaby.
Which, like...
He's turning into a Kyle Busch.
He very much is.
A young Kyle Busch.
He very much is. Well, he's not very young, so let's hold our horses there.
No, I'm talking about he's turning into Kyle Busch from when Kyle Busch was young.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I don't know, it was just like... And, like, yeah, Bell raced him, Bell rubbed him up. He raced him pretty well. But Logano would have done the same thing in that position.
Logano was the one that pushed him up not even a couple laps before Christopher Bell did that.
Exactly.
So, I mean... fair game.
It wasn't like Bell dumped him either. Like, a lot of people are comparing this to the Martinsville race in 2015. It's not the same at all. This was just good old short track racing. It wasn't like that Martinsville race at all. It was fairly clean. I thought Bell was very, very conservative on Logano. He had many chances to get into him, push him, bump him, move him out of the way over the last 20 laps or so, and refused to until the last 2 or 3 laps. My thinking is, it's for $1 million, no points on the line. Use the bumper a little bit, push him, hit him. If you can't get, I think that's what short track racing is about. But Bell just wouldn't do it, and I thought, oh, he wore his tires out, Logano's going to go on and win, but then Bell just did that at the end. I was like, thank God. You actually used your bumper, you actually put a little bit of aggression into it, and guess what? It won you the race, it won you $1 million, there you go. Logano can cry all he wants. Who care?
Exactly.
But overall, a very well-received North Wilkesboro race. I think now people are calling for it to get a point state, more so than just the nostalgia factor. It put on a really good showing with the trucks and the Cup Series, and very classic short track action. And I think a lot of people would be happy to see this track at a point state. Will it? I don't know. Probably not, because it's still a pretty small facility that doesn't bring in a lot of ticket sales. But also, good on-track product would mean better TV ratings, so who knows? I could very much see it getting a point state, but I don't think it. I don't think it will for 2026, maybe 2027. We'll see. But from what the drivers and the social media and everybody's saying, they want a point state here. I think NASCAR will take that into consideration going forward. So. But anyways, unless Gary, you got anything else to say?
I'm just going to keep saying that North Wilkesboro should be a points race and make Rockingham the All-Star race.
How's that sound? My audio a little louder now?
Your audio is fine.
I'm trying to get it up a little bit. I think that's good.
I can hear you.
What the fuck? I don't know what Eli did to this thing. Maybe we'll keep it like that. I don't know. Anyway, so that is North Wilkesboro. Oh, that did do something. Let's move that back a little bit. We'll put it now in the books. Only a couple of things to go over as far as silly season news. The 2026 Hall of Fame class was announced. 3 people got in. Let's see who they were. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. So the Pioneer Ballot winner, drum roll please. Ray Hendrick won the Pioneer Ballot vote.
Did you say Ray Hendrick or Rick Hendrick?
Ray Hendrick.
Is that a brother of Rick?
I would assume so. I don't know.
Or is it just a Hendrick? Or is it just a person that has the last name Hendrick?
I don't know. I would assume it's a family member. Probably a cousin or a brother. I don't know. But then the modern ballots winners. There were two of them. Drum roll for the first one, please. Harry Gant, very well deserved. Very well deserved. Glad to see him get it while he's still alive. And then the second vote getter, who also made the ballot, Kurt Busch. Can't be very surprised there. So all three of those very well deserving entries on the ballots and are now members of the Hall of Fame. So congratulations, Ray Hendrick, Kurt Busch, and Harry Gant. You are the newest Hall of Famers. A couple other things. Big scandal going on at Penske ahead of the Indianapolis 500. Tim Cindric and two other Penske executives have been fired after a cheating scandal came to light. This is mostly about their IndyCar division, but I think it's pretty notable NASCAR-wise because obviously Tim Cindric is the father of Austin Cindric. And Austin Cindric, I think, could, if he doesn't start to show more results, could have his ride in jeopardy because he doesn't have his father there at Penske to back him up anymore. Very, very interesting stuff, though. It's gonna. It doesn't seem like Austin's ride is in too much of jeopardy, but again, he needs, I think, to start winning more. And once we get more information, this is also just terrible timing for this because Indy 500 is this weekend, and so what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I guess so. So that was a big thing. And then the Bud All-Star scheme that Dale Jr. drove in 2001 to that very emotional win at Daytona. He's bringing it back in the Cars Tour. The paint scheme looks sick. I don't know if you've seen it, Gary. The paint, it looks really good. So can't wait to see that thing on the track. It'll look beautiful. So that should be awesome. Otherwise, forgot to mention, North Wilkesboro marked the end of Fox's broadcast season. Good riddance. Very much glad to see them gone. I didn't think they were. I guess I didn't watch as much this year with Fox as I have in the past, but I don't think they were as bad. They still weren't great, but I don't think they were as bad. So, but that's all the news that I had. I don't know if you had any news, Gary, or not.
Nope, everything's just the same as always.
How's this sound?
It's fine. I can hear you on my end.
Do I sound fine?
You sound fine. There's just cutting in and out, but other than that,
What do you mean cutting in and out?
like normal.
Okay. We'll have it like that. No. No, no. No, I'll have it like that. Okay. Anyway, with that being said, it is time to preview this weekend's action at Charlotte, the Coca-Cola 600, and the other races too. Very, 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 very big weekend. Not just for NASCAR, but also, of course, the Monaco Grand Prix and the Indianapolis 500 this weekend. Always a big deal. They're going to be big ratings. There's going to be some big moments. There's going to be some big wrecks. There's going to be all that. So it's going to happen. It's going to be great, and yeah, so should be pretty awesome racing. Charlotte's put on a good product over the last few years with the next gen car. I don't expect anything different. Hopefully no rain this year. 2 years in a row now, the Coke 600 has had rain problems. Hopefully that is not an issue this year. Kyle Larson will be attempting to do the double once again. Will he be thwarted by said rain? Well, there's a 60% chance of rain on Sunday in Charlotte, so that's just lovely. How about Indy? No, Indy should be fine, but Charlotte might be in jeopardy. Damn it. God damn it. But also, from a broadcasting standpoint, like I said, Fox is done for the season, which means we are now moving into the Amazon Prime portion of the season. So hopefully next episode I'm going to try and watch as much of the race live as possible so that I can get a good gauge of their broadcasting abilities, and I can talk about that next episode. So I'm pretty pumped for that. But let's get down to our predictions. All three series in action this weekend. So it should be pretty sweet. All right. Who do we think is going to win the truck race?
Ben Rhodes.
I'm going to pick, because he didn't win last week's and he wins every other week, it's Corey Heim. Such an original pick. But it'll reign true. Hopefully. Probably not. Well, we'll see. And then the Xfinity race. Who do we think is going to win?
Sammy Smith.
I'm going to pick him again. I'm going to pick Ryan Sieg. I think he's got to do it eventually. He's got to win something eventually. This might be his time.
Man, you're really doubting him. Because it seems like every time you pick him, he loses. And then whenever you don't pick him, he does well.
Yeah, but he hasn't won yet, so...
No, but he's finished in the top 5 every time you haven't picked him. But every time you pick him, he wrecks.
Listen, he's the best. I don't know, okay? I don't know, okay?
You're right. You don't know.
Okay. Cup predictions.
Let me go get him.
Garry once again doesn't have them ready.
Oh no, I had him ready when I was sitting down with my computer, but I moved over to the TV. Good job, Tyler. Wait. You don't know. I could get something worse.
I am fucked. Fucked over. Alright, fine. Who did Garry get?
Do you really want to know?
Just reveal it. Alright, we're fucking done. Bye, guys. See you next week. We'll talk about everything. Oh, by the way, there's a new documentary out about Dale Earnhardt on Prime Video. It came out yesterday at the time of this video going up. I don't know if I'm going to review. I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not. I definitely won't get around to it probably before next episode. Well, I might. I might actually. I don't know.
If I can get Prime Video to work, I will watch it. But
maybe I'll review it. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll watch it. Not maybe I won't. We'll see. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for much more amazing content, including the next episode. Until next time, see you guys later. Yeah, bye.